Regular BBC daytime viewers will recognise these giants of the antiques world who light up our screens with their wisdom and charm.
I've more than doubled my money.
But what sort of things do our experts get up to when they're not on the telly? Well, we're about to find out, as over the course of 1 week, we'll be seeing one pair of plucky heavyweight dealers face a different daily challenge. Some of those challenges will be familiar territory. Yes! Some will be pitching our experts into the unknown.
Bang, bang, bang.
They'll be going head-to-head in a battle for profit, showing us how they've risked their own money and reputations by recreating some of their real-life deals.
Profit, profit and more profit.
And if the stakes weren't high enough already, each expert has a favourite charity that will be benefiting from their profits. The challenge to our experts is clear. Put your money where your mouth is. Today's hard-nosed dealers are the irrepressible Mark Franks and the queen of the car boot, Lorne Spicer. Lorne is a journalist and renowned expert in the areas of finance and antiques. Her position at the top of the Bargain Hunters leaderboard comes from her belt-tightening on money spinners and from rifling through the car booty. Man of the people, Mark, meanwhile, has over 23 years' worth of experience in dealing, including several years as a city broker, and is in a league of his own when it comes to sifting trash to cash and importing the best bargains from foreign climes on Sunsea and bargain spotting.
Makeup, where's makeup?
So we have the experts, they have the knowledge and the contacts and the lovely English weather. So it's time to find out the aim of today's game. First of all, are they in the right place?
Ah, Mr. Franks, there I find you under a weeping willow tree with nobody else but me.
Good morning.
Good morning. I'm very pleased to see you over in Essex.
Yes, and the sun has just about got his hat on.
I've got an envelope for you.
I've got one for you.
There's a surprise. So what have we got on the market today? Let's see. Mark and Lorne, your challenge today is to spend £250 of your own money on antiques. You must then resell your purchases with the aim of making as much profit as possible. The winner is the presenter who makes the most cash.
Today you must buy your antiques from a car boot sale.
So we're supposed to buy antiques at a boot sale?
Yeah.
Right, OK. Well, you've been to Essex before and gone to the boot sales. It is possible. On occasion, it has been known.
We can try.
Yeah. Well, do you want to follow me then? Because I know my way round here. If we follow you, we'll just be going up the river, won't we?
Antiques. Knowing these two, they'll be buying everything and anything they can turn to a profit. Today, our dueling duo will be locking horns at not one, but two car boot sales, where they'll be spending up to £250 of their own money. It's going to be a tough challenge for Mark today, as Lorne is the undisputed put your money where your mouth is car boot queen. Today's sale is spread out across 60 acres of land, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is an awful lot of booty. Now, before we get going, does anyone else think that our two collectibles connoisseurs bear a passing resemblance to another pair of famous wheeler dealers? So today it's a case of he or she who dares wins. And with all their profits going to charity, it's time to find out how our two car boot champions plan to approach today's challenge. What will be their strategies?
As we're opening up the back of their cars, I'm going to be in there. That's the best way to do it.
Crikey, that was short and sweet. Mark's definitely keen today, but if he's going to bag some early bargains, he can't afford to hang around.
What have you got? Anything I might want to buy? I'm going to offer as low as possible, aren't I? When are you going to get your good stuff out?
Mark's wasting no time getting down to business, but the undisputed queen of the boot sale has a very different plan.
The idea what I'm going to do here is I'm going to work my way up the stalls that are just unloaded, and then I'm going to go right back to the beginning, because what a lot of stall holders do is they might be the first in, but they cluck cars up and go and get a coffee first. So hopefully, even though everyone's crowded around the ones that have just arrived, if we go back to basics, there might be some more bargains.
So, just like the rumble in the jungle, two very different styles are going head-to-head in this clash of the collectibles heavyweights.
Spicer, watch out.
With the sparring over, it's time for today's contest to begin. It's seconds out for round one, and it looks like Mark's determined to land the first blow.
Just setting up, girls. How much is the desk?
Make an offer.
Well, I'm going to start at the bottom, aren't I? £5.
No.
How much?
40.
No, too much.
No.
10 up.
No, not enough. Sorry.
God, how much? What's the depth?
20.
20.
Thank you very much.
I've bought this little reproduction mahogany desk for 20 quid. It's rude not to. The most I've ever sold one of these for is 200 quid. I don't expect to get that for this. It's got red leather insert, which isn't the best colour in the world. But regardless, I would expect to sell this about for roughly a £1. Come on, come and learn.
Now, if you're confused, a £1 is 100 quid. That's a heavy hit from the Battersea bomber. Mark Franks has never been a man short of confidence, but can he really triumph and teach the Queen of the Car Boot Sale a lesson right here on her own turf?
What about the fishing rod? What sort of fishing is that for?
Soap fishing.
Ah. How much is it?
Tenner.
You take 7?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah? All right, lovely. There we are.
Nice change.
Lovely, thank you very much.
Well, happy fishing.
Happy fishing. I don't know anything about fishing, and I'm not going to pretend I do, but even I can figure out, because I like playing snooker. So I reckon it's about the same as a snooker cue. You bung that in there, and there's probably going to be fishermen across the country now crying at watching me doing this. But anyway, there we go. And as you can see, it's beautifully varnished. It's brass fittings. Now, it hasn't got a reel. If it did have a reel, I wouldn't have been able to get it for £7, I'm sure. So I'm hoping that somebody is going to be interested in that.
So, Lorne's cast her eye around the market and has hooked herself a 1930s fishing rod. It's level pegging in these very early stages, and the keen eyes of both Mark and Lorne have spotted and secured the first bargains of the day. Mark is prowling round the boot sale in a state of complete, total and utter concentration. So what's on Mark's mind? What is he looking for?
You got any jewellery? No. Oh, can I have a look at your jewellery? Got any tomfoolery knocking around?
No, mate.
Well, that's pretty clear then. Mark's in the zone and on the hunt for jewellery. But where's he looking?
I've asked the man nicely if I can have a look in the back of the van, and do you know what? Of course you can, son. Lovely.
Mark learned all he needed to know about gold and jewellery during his time as Jimmy Savile's personal stylist. Only joking. He's in the zone, locked and loaded, but will all that glitters turn out to be gold?
Nice motors have nice stock. That's a nice little Merc there. Always look for a nice motor. Chance I'll have better gear.
Yes, wise words from Franksy. It's a simple equation. Boot sale plus posh motor equals quality.
Morning.
How are you?
All right, how are you? Good, good.
Yes, Mark's not the only one with the concentration of a Buddhist monk, though. Lorne's on the hunt for her second buy of the day, and the Queen of Collectibles has homed in on some cuddly toys.
Well, these are nice.
The Stife, dear, old Stife.
Right, there's the button that we're looking for with the Stife name. So now that's a genuine Stife. I mean, you can tell from the quality. Obviously, being a penguin, they can't put the button in the ear because he hasn't got any ears, so they put it on the wing. There we are. Now that's a genuine Stife. That's a nice little one. I like the duck. Or is it a goose?
I don't know, call it what you like.
Oh, and the little seal pup. Oh, they're lovely. This one's still in the box, then?
That's very old, yes, 1960s.
And what sort of prices are you looking for on these?
It's got to be about 50 quid.
Would you take 40?
Oh, go on then.
Yeah?
Okay, yeah.
Lovely.
All
OK,
right.
well, I'll have that lot. They're fantastic. Right, let me give you £40.
So Lorne's showed her nous and boot sale experience buying up some rare Stife toys.
There we are, my dears,
Thank you very
£40. I'll come pick them up in a bit, all right?
No, OK, thank you.
And as she edges ahead in today's car boot clash, Mark's quest for lost gold of Essex has so far proved fruitless. So he's decided to widen his net and look at some other options.
How much are the alloys, mate?
50 for that set, 10 for the Peugeot one.
Right, OK. Now, come here. I'll explain something to you. No, they're not antiques, but I used to be a commodities broker, right? Commodities is basically a trading market of anything. And at the moment, alloy wheels are £1,000 a tonne. Now, if you work that out, your average alloy wheel is worth about 7 or 8 quid. So, the other day, I bought 4 alloy wheels at a car boot sale for 15 quid, and I sold them on the interweb for 160. Those aren't the nicest ones in the world, but these ones I bought with Porsche, and the bloke didn't know they were. So everything's got a value. If they were cheaper, you just run them down a scrap metal yard and make a profit. Easy, eh?
Well, that's all very interesting stuff, Mark, but the aim of today's game is to make a profit, and if you want to win the car boot sale battle, you need to start spending. Because the Stife toys aren't the only potential bargains that Lorne spotted in this lady's boot.
How much is the coal bucket?
45.
What's your best on it? You take 25?
Oh, I think it'd have to be 30.
I don't think I can go to 30. 25 is probably the best I can do on this.
Go
Is that
on.
all right?
Yeah.
Lovely, OK.
How much is that?
That's £45.
Shush you, shush.
No, it's £45 to you. Go and buy it for
Don't take any
£45.
notice of it. How much?
It was
£4.50, did you say?
45. Yeah. I think it's a bargain too. Well, I'll sell it to you for 40.
Have you bought it?
Yeah. Ha!
Oh, unlucky Mark, foiled by the Spice-mobile. Though it'll take more than that to dampen Mark's never-say-die attitude.
Not a lot there, a few little bits and bobs, but I'm going to crack on down here. There's loads. Come and have a look. Come on, come on.
He's on his toes and heading off in search of, well, just about anything he can get his hands on.
2 bedrooms, ensuite bathroom, 3.5 grand. It's amazing what you can buy at a car boot sale. Shame I ain't got the cash. There's a profit in that.
You can have them for a £5.
Sold. Hello, come here. Look at that. Whizzer and chips, Beano, dandy, 2 quid the lot.
I think they might be all right.
How much? May not be your cup of tea, but I know a bloke that probably will buy this. Take care, mate. Thank you. How much is that, love?
£1.
Not buy it for £1, can you really? There you are, darling. Thank you.
Thank you.
I bought this because it reminded me of Lorne.
Steady on, old boy, that's a touch unnecessary. But that burst of buying has narrowed the gap on Lorne a little. Yes, she's certainly not someone you could make a monkey of, because she has just spotted more top-drawer collectibles.
Fantastic Scalextric sets here. Look at that. Talk about boys' toys. Look, this is great because it's still got the instructions, which collectors are very keen on, and you've got the cars. Now, I've made the mistake before of buying Scalextric sets and the cars have been missing, so all you're buying really is the track. But this is a lovely set, so I think we might buy a few pieces off here if the price is right. And this one's nice as well, but I like this as well because the car's in here, and look, I think that's lovely. How much is this set?
Right, I'm looking for £30 for the VIP set.
£30
Yeah.
and what about the Scalextric?
Scalextric, I'm looking for 40. It's complete.
So,
Right, okay.
for the two, what can you do?
I do 60 for the pair, £30 each.
60 for the pair?
Yes. That's what I'm
Okay, is that your very, very, very best?
That is the very best.
Is
Yeah,
it?
absolutely.
All right, OK, yeah, I'll take those. They're great. There we go.
So, Speedster Spice has hit top gear with some vintage Scalextric sets and a couple of unusual tin plate racing tracks.
Now, I love old toys. I just think there's something really charming about them compared to all the plastic things and the licensed products we have today. So I particularly like the graphics that they did. I mean, this box is fantastic. Although, obviously, Scalextrics is still being made today, they just don't look the same. There's something so nostalgic about this.
Well, with Lorne racing back into contention, Mark has decided to have another hunt for gold.
You got any jewellery?
And as any prospector worth his salt will tell you, this is something which takes real concentration. Oi, Mark, get your eyes on the prize.
Bit of tomfoolery here. Have a look at them couple of rings there, please, love.
Certainly. They're all hallmarked.
I believe you. Eyeglass. Always handy. They're both 18 carat. Is that any good or not?
A 9, I think.
What you got on the pair, love?
Well, I can do them for £5 each.
Well, in that case, you've sold them. You're a very nice lady.
It would appear that our boy Mark has a cunning plan up his sleeve, and it's time to find out why he's so keen to get his grasping hands on Essex gold.
2 gold rings for a tenner. What's all that about? Where's the profit in that? Technology will explain all, right? Here we go. I've got one of these new flash phones. And you just click on there. I'm on the internet, right? These prices are Friday night's prices, but even so, with a little flick, and if you know what you're looking at, there we are. It tells you 9 carat hallmark gold is trading at £5.38. You've got to love technology. Get a load of that.
So in this day and age, it's good to know that there's a less back-breaking way to sift out a profit on gold. Cheers, Mark. Our 2 experts have been locked in a battle of wits since the crack of dawn, but time's up on the first of today's boot sales. And before they move on, it's time to catch up and compare notes.
Oh, is that Mark Franks off the telly?
Well, if it ain't Lady Lorne Spicer at a car boot sale on a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
You're at home here, aren't you?
Yeah, I go to 3 boot sales every Sunday and 2 on a Saturday.
Yes, I lay in bed snoring and other stuff on a Sunday morning.
So have you managed to spend any money yet?
I've spent a few quid, but there's not that many good dealers here today, is there? There's an antique fair on.
There's a big antique fair coming up, yes, so a lot of them have charged up there, I must say. But I've still spent more than I should have done, really, I think.
Really?
Yeah, well, you know what I'm like.
Yeah,
just go around
spend,
going, oh,
spend,
that. Oh,
spend.
that's nice.
Yeah, new handbag.
Are you a bit stuck here? Have you done this one, then?
I'm over this one.
OK, well, there are actually 5 or 6 we could go to.
Lazy
but...
Bones?
Yeah, I think so, don't you?
Come on, then,
I
let's
love
go.
the title, apart from anything else, Lazy Bones.
So as Mark and Lorne hit the road and head towards the day's second mecca of bargains that is the Lazy Bones boot sale, we can catch our breath and take a pause to find out exactly how they're doing at the end of round 1. After a busy morning, Lorne the Spicemobile Spicer has dug deep and spread the wealth. She's spent a total of £147, leaving her £103 left to spend in round 2. Mark, on the other hand, has kept much more in reserve for the second boot sale, so he's only parted with £39, leaving him a whopping £211 still to spend. As our 2 contenders arrive at their second car boot sale, there's still all to play for, and they're poised and ready to attack. Yes, Mark and Lorne love the smell of bargains in the morning.
Now we're at Lazy Bones. Hurrah! You've got money to spend.
Yes.
But let me tell you the best thing about this boot sale.
Go on.
The cake stall. And I bought one for you. There you
Oh,
are.
you're so
That'll refuel
kind.
you. Let's go. Come on.
After refuelling with a morning muffin, Mark leaps straight into action, and it looks as though he might have spotted another potential money spinner.
How much is this, love?
That's a £5 of that.
£5. Where's it come from?
My dad's garage.
Does he know you took it?
He does.
See what I've got in change. I've got 4 quid in change. Any good?
Yeah, that do.
Yeah? Lovely. That's a nice thing. Normally, I'd say don't buy things out of season. Like, this is, you know, obviously people are thinking about their fires in the winter, but for 4 quid, it's so cheap. It's 100 years old. It's in good nick. The idea of this mesh is called a spit guard, and that's to stop the bits of stuff coming out of the fire and landing on your rug, pre-carpets. It's in really good condition, and I think there's going to be a little bit of a profit in this.
Well, that's a good buy, but Mark's still got a long way to go to catch up with Lorne, because she's wasted no time in getting straight down to business.
Oh, look at that. There we go, sir. Thank you very much. I bought a dog with no tail. I can see what Mark's going to say about that. Oh, this looks like... I know what this is for. Oh, that's better. How much for this?
I'd like a £5 for it, please.
Would you take 3? Nottingham NUM, 1984 to 5 strike. This money as well. How much is this?
That's a £5.
And what about the stall?
£2 for the...
£2, that's got to be worth.
Yeah.
OK, £7. There you go, my dear.
At this rate, Lorne looks like she'll have a huge haul of potential moneymakers by the end of the day. But so far, we haven't seen her indulge her true passion for fashion.
Now, when it comes to designer clothing, I have to say you probably can't do better than coming to Essex because we do like a designer name. And that means when it comes to the boot sales, there are bargains to be had. And I've brought along a little selection from my own wardrobe. Now, if you want to go out for the evening in something new, don't bother going to the shops, just go to the boot sale. What I've got here is a fantastic Escada dress. Now, that particular make is extraordinarily expensive. Something like this new would have cost probably about £400 to £500. And I bought this at a boot sale for £8. And just to make sure that we're fully equipped, I have the matching shoes and handbag. Now, these have never been worn. They're absolutely brilliant for a night out or even as a present, and I paid £4 for the pair. Now, when it comes to designer layons, you do have to be careful, of course, about fakes. But here are 3 genuine examples of Louis Vuitton that I bought at a boot sale. This wallet cost £3. This little one with the classic Louis Vuitton sign, £3. This one was a bargain only last week. I picked this up here for £1. Not bad, eh?
So, if you're prepared to put in the hard yards, you really can pick up some catwalk collectibles at a car boot sale. And just in case you didn't believe her, the Queen of Car Boots seems determined to prove her point.
It's dry clean, but that's a nice dress. That would have cost quite a lot of money when it was new. It's nicely made. How much is the dress, my dear?
£10.
£10. Would you take 8?
OK then.
I do like it. It's very nice. Yeah, OK, I'll take that then. Have you got a bag at all?
That is a great buy for Lorne as she picks up a nice vintage dress. She's way out in front of Mark, but he's not giving in just yet and has got his eyes on some vintage clobber of his own.
How much are they?
Five each.
5 each. About £9.
Right, 5 each.
All right, will you take a tenner?
I'll take a tenner.
You're hard work, you are.
Lovely. OK, thanks very much.
Yeah,
you
you
can have
can-
the coat hanger.
You know what you do with the coat hangers, don't you? 2 good mates, Wolf and Scott. They would be the wrong side of £100 each. I don't know where I'm going to sell these, but they're so cheap. There's got to be a profit in them. Watch.
Well, making money is the name of the game, and having bought the leather jackets, our rebel with a cause is hoping to get his hands on every boy racer's favourite wheel candy.
OZ Racing, Italian company, started in 1970-71, world famous. They're a good make. These are a bit scruffy, but even so, if the price is right, they're coming down with me. How much are these, mate?
Score, mate.
15 quid, any good?
No, I've got to take a score and I'm worth that each scrap.
All right, then, deal. Deal done. Lovely.
mate.
I'll pick them up in a bit.
Yeah, lovely one. See you in a bit.
Well, Mark might be hoping to make a speedy profit from those wheels, but he's still got £177 left to spend. And if he wants to overtake Lorne, he needs to get into top gear, because she's hard at work trying to secure another potential money-spinning deal.
Now, that is a nice piece of glass. If you hold that up to the light, look, you can really see the blue coming through there. And this would be made by them firing blue glass, obviously, then they put all the white over it, and then they cut through it to actually get this effect. Now, at one time, these were very, very popular. This is quite old-fashioned now, but it is a good quality piece. And she wants £75 for that, which is quite a lot of money, really.
So £75 is too much for Lorne, but can she strike a deal?
I need a bargain.
Yeah, she's not the only one trying to bag a bargain, though, because Mark has spotted a piece of top-quality pottery.
Ruskin pottery, nice bit of schmutter. I thought you said 120 quid.
I did say 120 quid. Yeah.
Really?
It's nice, isn't it? You don't see them very often.
Well, they didn't produce them for very long, did they?
No.
It looks like he's got a fight on his hands to get that pottery for the right price. But he needs to haggle hard because Lorne has spotted another piece of glassware.
And this is sort of Victorian glass, but it's not damaged, which is what you often find. This obviously gets chipped. And this Lily of the Valley on here is very reminiscent of a woman called Mary Gregory, who used to paint little children on the glass with Lily of the Valley. So it's a real typical piece of Victoriana. Actually, if you think of the age of this, £12 is nothing. So I'm going to see if I can get a deal on the 2. Now, I like this very much. Yeah. But it is a bit expensive. I'm not saying it's not worth it, but just for what I've got, and I'd like that as well. Right. So that's 75 and that's 12, which I make 87. So I was wondering whether you could do anything on that.
Well, what do you have in mind?
60? 60?
Yeah, go on
60?
Go on then.
You sure?
Yes. I don't want to.
60? Yes, saying the same number over and over might not be the most sophisticated of negotiating skills, but it works.
That's lovely, thank you. Thank you so
Enjoy.
much. Thanks for your help.
Thank you very
Cheers.
much. Bye-bye.
Two really nice antique pieces there. I'm very pleased with that. I wonder how Mark's getting on. Oh, I bet he's struggling. Ha!
Struggling? Well, perhaps a little bit. With a clock ticking towards the end of this boot sale, the pressure is now really on. Franksy is way behind, and if he's to have any chance of beating Lorne, he needs to secure this quality piece of Ruskin pottery.
What's the def on it?
Well, what do you want to give me for it?
50 quid.
No, well, it's not good, is it?
You've got to start somewhere. How do you see it?
One of them.
A one-er. Yeah, about 70 quid.
No, about 80 quid and a cup of tea.
80 quid and a cup of tea. Everyone's in for the cups of tea, aren't they? Right there. 20, 40, 60, 80. Keep the change.
All
I'll
right.
get you a cup of tea. How many sugars?
No milk, one sugar.
One sugar. Sure you shouldn't have the sugar? How about that, right? Ruskin pottery. Ruskin pottery is really, really hard to find, and here at Car Boot Sale, it's an absolute result. Look at the bottom. Ruskin. Ruskin, the company started in 1898, and it was father and son. And about 6 years later, they changed the name to Ruskin Pottery after the famous writer Ruskin. And they produced wares with a secret glaze and a complicated glaze, which they didn't tell anyone what the formula was, and they took the actual secret of the glaze to the grave with them. And they carried on producing wares into the 1920s, where the Depression and finances changed, and they stopped making it. So it's fairly rare.
So Franksy secures some top-notch Ruskin pottery, but only time will tell if he got it for a top-notch price. The Queen of Collectibles is still in the lead, but Mark's closed the gap, and with not long to go before the boot sale closes for the day, the race is on for both of them to spend the rest of their cash.
Oh, that's a nice mirror. I like that. It's modern, but it's very nice. How much is your mirror?
£5 for that.
£5. Is that leather or is it sort of faux leather?
Faux leather.
Faux leather. That
Very
means
heavy.
fake, really. But anyway,
Yeah, really, really heavy.
are you really decorated then? Is that what you've got
Yes,
rid
I
of
have, yeah. It doesn't fit in anymore.
it? Well, what about this? Is this not fitting anymore?
No, my little girl's grown out of that
Yeah,
now.
that's really cute. Did you actually sit in this when you were little?
my
Did
daughter and
you?
my son, yeah, they both use that.
How much do you want for that?
£5 as well for that.
Right, so that's £10 for
Yes,
those two,
that's right.
yeah. OK, yeah, I'll have both of those. Can I leave them, pick them up
Yes,
later?
that's
Is that all
fine,
right?
no
Lovely,
problem.
OK. Oh! You got a copy of my book.
I know.
Retail price £12.99.
very good.
So how much is that?
10p?
10p?
Yeah.
I've gone from £12.99 to 10p. I'm rotting at a boot sale. That's the story of my career, I tell you. Right, so you're £10 and 10p.
Please.
Right, OK, here we go. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
So Lorne grabs herself the rocking chair, a mirror, and some of her own words of wisdom to finish off the day. But having spent a lot of the morning hunting for
Bit more gold. Jewellery. More gold. Tom Ford. How much is that? Yep.
it looks as though Mark is finally managing a rich seam.
Right, I spent my last 50 quid on some gold. I bought quite a bit of gold today. The price of gold goes up as well as down, so I might have made a profit, I may not. We will only wait and see. Monday morning, I'll check the price yet again, and hopefully it'll go up overnight, and I've spent all my money up.
Remember, both our experts had up to £250 to spend today. Mark has managed to spend the whole lot, leaving nothing in the kitty. Lorne has been slightly more frugal and has only spent £240, leaving her £10 in the kitty. So, as we come to the end of a highly charged day of hot buying action, it's time for the King and Queen of the Boot Sale to meet up and compare notes about what they've bought.
Oh, Lordy. OK. What on earth made you buy that?
No idea. No idea. Get it?
You got car tyres.
They're actually OZ racing wheels.
I do love the Stife animals. I think that was a really good buy. I think it's really hard to find Stife at a boot sale now, and I seem to have done it. But I do like this as well. This is quite interesting. Do you remember the miners' strike?
I'm too young, Lorne.
No, you're
Far
not.
too young.
No, you're not. You're in it. And people forget what a struggle it was for the miners. So they used to make these as pieces to raise funds. So it's actually got some political connections there as
Very
well.
nice. What do you think of my monkey?
I was going to ignore that.
Why? It's
Save
lovely.
your dignity.
He's nice.
All right, come on, tell me, where are you going to sell that? Obviously at a fun fair.
No idea. I don't know.
Now, I can see you've got a desk, but what's that bowl on the top of it?
Ruskin?
No, you're kidding me.
No.
You found a piece of Ruskin at the boot sale?
Yeah, it's quite a good buy, I think.
How much did you pay for it?
Just can't remember.
A lot.
A little bit. But this is not all that I've got. I've got some gold.
Did you get some gold?
I got some gold.
Ah, how much did you get?
A little bit. I didn't wait. I've done all right.
Well, I think you've done very well because these boot sales now are absolutely riddled with people looking for gold.
Do you know any nice pubs that do Sunday roast?
Yes, I do, and I
I'll
will.
treat you.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's very nice. Well, I'll tell you what. I've got a gift for you. I thought as you're struggling so much, there's some bedtime reading for you, all
Very
right?
nice. Find a fortune. I'll be lucky.
So, as we've seen, our experts have secured a veritable cornucopia of bargains today. Lorne purchased a collection of vintage toys, some stunning glassware, and a selection of items both old and new. Mr. Franks will be taking home a collection of boys' toys, a bureau, a fireguard, an antique map and some Ruskin pottery. Mark will also leave with one of Bambi's relatives, and last but not least, Bruce's favourite, a cuddly toy. So, after a titanic tussle at the Colchester car boot sale, our dynamic duo have returned home to get ready for the second part of today's contest. The aim is now to sell on their wares and make as much profit as possible for their chosen charities. And they're both ready to roll up their sleeves and get stuck in.
Now, Lorne Spicer sees herself as the queen of car boot sales, but I've taken a different track completely. I don't want to buy bits of twiddly china. It doesn't interest me. What interests me is turning anything into profit. And I bought some alloy wheels, I bought a desk, I bought a huge monkey, I bought some really, really random things. But I'm taking a real fly on this, and if I can beat her, it will be doing it in style.
Well, I totally enjoyed the boot sales, but no surprise there because I do go to at least 5 every single weekend, so I'm well known going around them and I just buy anything. I just love it. It's an addiction, total addiction. But I think I've got some stuff that will sell on internet auctions, some stuff that I might take down to the local antique centre.
I think it's fair to say that both Mark and Lorne are up for the challenge, and the race is on to make the first sale. Mark has decided to start out on his home patch in Battersea, southwest London. First on his list is the electric violin, which he hopes will go for a song.
When I was at a car boot sale, I bought this electric violin and I had a plan for it. The plan was to take it to this guitar shop. Now, I'm out on a limb here because I'm not sure if he buys violins. Fingers crossed.
So Mark's taking a bit of a gamble, but if the shop owner does buy violins, Mark needs to sell for more than £40 to make a profit.
Would you like to buy it?
Yeah.
What about 80 quid?
Bit tight on that. 70?
75?
Right, then, £75.
You're a gentleman. Sold.
Okay.
You get the case free of charge.
Well, that's very good. Thanks very much indeed. Let's see if I can find some money. 50, 70, £75.
Graham, you're an absolute gentleman.
Well, that was short and sweet, and a £35 profit is music to Mark's ears.
A violin is sold. £75. Back of the net.
And whilst Mark's gotten off to a flying start, Lorne has fired up the Spice-mobile and has headed to the Cotswolds to try and secure her first sale.
Well, I've come to the very busy town of Burford in the Cotswolds. It's actually on the edge of the Cotswolds and it's the main road going through to places like Stow-on-the-Wold. But it's got a very good reputation for having some fine antique shops. So I'm rather hoping that I'll be able to shift a few of my items here. Fingers crossed.
Well, that seems like a fine plan, but now she's here in beautiful Burford, Lorne seems to become more preoccupied with sightseeing than selling.
One of each of the frogs, please. These aren't for me, obviously. Thank you very much. That's lovely. Thank you very much. They're all for my little boy.
Meanwhile, in a less salubrious part of the world, Mark is getting into heavy metal.
I've got these alloy wheels. I've had the tyres taken off. I'm going to take these in and get them scrapped. So you hang on here and I'll be back in a minute.
Yes, Mark can turn a profit from anything. He knows there's money to be made from melted metal. And sure enough, a few minutes later...
As my dear old mother used to say, where there's muck, there's brass. 67 quid. Take that, Spicer.
All fighting talk from Franksy. He's made almost £50 from his car wheels and he banks another £16 selling the brass fireguard to one of the regulars in his local pub.
I've got a bit of shrapnel.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Bit of shrapnel.
£20 and you can buy me a pint for a change.
Just a kiss.
No.
Meanwhile, back in the Cotswolds, Lorne still hasn't made a sale, and she seems so interested in the antiques on display, rather than the ones she should be selling, that she could be on a busman's holiday.
Now, I may be here to sell in theory, but let's be honest, it's a fantastic place to buy. And I do happen to know that tucked away in this little gallery here is a real gem. And if money was no object or I won the lottery, believe me, this is what I'd buy. An original oil painting by Lowry. I can't think of anything better. I mean, you can see how excited I am just to see these here. I don't know, and we'll probably never really know what a pair of Lowrys like that could make on the open market, but I wouldn't be surprised if they went for around 150, even £200,000. So it's unlikely that I'm ever going to own a pair.
Come on now, Miss Spicer. It's time to put an end to the sightseeing and start selling, because Mark's way out in front and back in London. He's arranging to sell his bureau through one of his local auction houses.
Well, not bad. What do you think of that, Tom?
Yeah, it's fine, Mark. Reproduction, pedestal, mahogany desk, gilt tool, red leather top, all in one piece.
What are these costing you?
Well, brand new, it's going to cost something like £500, £600. Second hand at auction, we should be able to at least recoup 80 quid, something like that.
It cost me 20 quid. Have I got a chance?
Oh, definitely. We'll give it a go.
Well, Tom, I wish you luck. Thank you very much, mate. Cheers.
So, the auctioneer thinks the bureau could be another money spinner for Mark. He is really knuckling down to the challenge of turning his boot sale bargains into hard cash. But back in the Cotswolds, Lady Lorne has finally decided to try and seal some deals. She's angling for a sale on the shooting stick, fishing rod and miner's lamp.
I think it was done as a commemorative piece during the miners' strike to help raise funds for the miners.
I think you're probably right. It's about half the size of a normal miner's Davy lamp.
Is that something you'd be interested in?
Yes, yeah.
And what sort of price would you be prepared to pay for that?
I'd give you £10 for it.
Yeah?
Mm.
OK, well, yeah, that's brilliant. I'm quite happy with that. Thank you very much. That's superb.
Our Lady of the Lamp has finally made a sale.
Butt cap.
Now, will the fishing rod do any better?
Of its kind, but...
So is it something you'd be interested in?
Well, I'm going to disappoint you and say no. This end of it...
Unlucky Lorne looks like the fishing rod might be the one that got away. Will she have more luck with the shooting stick?
Below. Again, it would have to be something that's very cheap.
What's your version of very cheap?
It's got to be a tenner.
Right,
Had it been perfect,
yeah, of course,
it would have been 30.
Yes.
More bad luck for Lorne, as she is shot down in flames on the shooting stick. Well, Lorne might have had a very pleasant day out in the Cotswolds, but she leaves with a severe lack of profit. She's banked just £5 so far and is a long way behind Mark. And what's more, he's in a determined mood and is not going to let up in his quest to become the car boot king.
We're on the way to Hampton Court Palace to see a guy called Alexis. He's got a shop round the corner from the palace. Now, whatever your views on taxidermy are, it's up to you. This guy buys and sells old, antique taxidermy. He doesn't get involved in anything new, so I haven't got a problem with it at all.
Back in the Victorian era, before photography and travelling were available to the majority of the public, taxidermy was the only way for people to see and learn about wild animals from other continents. Now, whatever you might think about taxidermy, there's still a market for it, but even Mark I Can Sell Anything Franks is going to have his work cut out to make a profit on the one idea he picked up for a fiver at the boot sale.
Hi.
Hi, Mark. Nice
How
to
are
see
you?
you.
Long time no see.
Yeah.
Wow, is this for real?
Yeah, that's well, it's not real. No, it's a fiberglass rhino which we use for the hire business.
You're still mainly doing hire?
Mainly doing hire, sort of prop hire for film, TV.
Go on, name drop. What's the biggest film you've ever done?
Probably the most famous is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. We supplied the owls for them. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
What about this? This is very horrible.
Yes. It would look good in a very dark sort of corner.
Yeah, if you squint.
Yeah.
What can I do with this? Is there anything I can salvage?
Well, I'll give you a £5 for the eye. It's useful for me. I can use it for replacement.
OK, got a deal. £5 for the eye, lovely.
Well, most people would be happy to have made their money back on the deer's head, but Mark isn't most people.
I'm not giving up yet. I still think we can turn this into a profit. Come on, let's try. Stay. Stay.
I think this competition might be getting to Mark. His never-say-die attitude has helped him stretch his lead over Lorne, though. And having got wind of the fact that she's falling further and further behind, Lady Lorne has decided at last to put her back into it.
Well, I've come to Battlesbridge because there's a lady that I know here. In fact, I know quite a lot of the dealers down here, one way or another, mainly because I've spent a fortune here over the years. So I've come to see her because she might be interested in this and also the Murano glass dog. The only problem is she's on the top floor.
Don't forget, Lorne paid £25 for the copper box and £2 for the Murano dog.
Things I do for money. Oh, God. Oh.
And she's having to work very hard to try and make a profit on them.
There's got to be a better way to earn a living. Hello. Hello. I'm here. Look what I've bought for you to have a look at. Oh, my word, it weighs a ton. Now, this is the actual... Well, I'm not quite sure what it is, to be honest with you. Is it for coal or is it for wood?
Well, you can use it for either, Lorne, to be truthful.
Look at the feet on this. I thought that was great. You've got the little barley twist and then the Queen Anne foot with handles here.
There's a few bits doing to it. It needs a bit of cleaning up, to be fair.
Is it the sort of thing you'd be interested in?
Yes, it's a possibility, depending what you want it. But I'll take a chance and offer you 70 for it.
That's fantastic. I'll definitely take 70, yeah.
At last, Lorne has made some serious profit. She's banked £45 from the sale of the copper box, and the Murano dog adds an extra £33 to her coffers.
I think that's got to be worth a good 35.
All right, that's brilliant. Thank you very much, Robbie. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah.
What a result. Lorne's right back in the competition, and she's decided to try and get some vital intelligence on how her rival is getting on.
Oh, dear. Well, it's very quiet here today, very peaceful. Strangely enough, I'm actually missing Mark. The sound of silence just reminds me that he's not here, being such a loud person. So I think it's about time we found out what he's up to.
Lady Lorne Spicer, how may I help you on this lovely sunny day in South London?
Well, Mr. Franks, the good news is it's still raining here in Essex.
Really? I'm more or less sunbathing.
Oh, your joke's almost as bad as your profit-making, my dear. And what about the car wheels?
The car wheels have sold for a small profit, yes.
Have you? What did you make on those?
I can't remember. Just pence, really.
Have you been arrested yet for taking them off the car in the first place, or did you get away with that?
No, I don't buy anything dodgy. It's all totally above board. You know me, Lorne. Right, I'm going to go and make some sales. I'll have to love you and leave you.
Ta-ra!
Bye.
So, after a shaky start, Lorne's got herself right back into contention. Is her ship coming in, or will Mark sail away as the ultimate winner? It's time to find out who's captain and who's cabin boy in this epic money-making voyage. Don't forget, our two experts had up to £250 of their own money to spend at the car boot sale. After a slow start, the Spicemobile has sold 3 items for £108, giving her a profit of £76. Mark has also sold 3 items, plus a deer's eye for £162.50 and has banked £93.50 worth of profit. So, Mark is leading the way, but Lady Lorne is getting into her stride and she's headed back to familiar territory to try and secure her next sale.
This is the first boot sale of the day for me. It's Stevenson's Farm on the A127 in Essex, and I know the guy who runs this site, lovely man, Peter Stevenson. I've come to actually see him, see if I can sell anything to him. But as I'm here, it'd be rude not to have a look for bargains, wouldn't it?
Oh, come on, Lorne, focus. Move away from the stalls. Because back in London, Mark's also up at the crack of dawn, and he's monkeying around.
Put your belt on, will you, Lorne? Get your hand off there. Don't be silly. Lorne, are you ready to go?
Yes, well, he's either very brave or the early hour is getting to him a bit.
You happy, Lorne?
Well, it's a good job the lady herself can't see what Mr. Franks is up to, because whilst our resident king of the swingers is out trying to find someone to take the monkey off his hands, the car boot queen is attempting to sell some of her glassware. She was out looking for the owner of the sale, but as she's been trying to track him down, she spotted a stall where she thinks she could get a result.
I like all your glass, and I was just wondering, actually, on an off chance, whether I could tempt you with that.
Yeah, nice piece of bohemian. I'd like to give you 20 quid for it, if that's OK.
Yeah, £20, absolutely fine. So you hold on to that. Hope you sell it for a profit. OK, see you soon.
Bye.
Well, Lorne paid £60 for 2 glass pieces, so she's got her work cut out with a second if she's going to turn a profit. Back in the urban jungle, Mark and his monkey could be about to part company, but where's he planning to sell his cuddly toy?
Now, this is where I bought my car. They gave me a fairly good deal, so I'm going to go and see the guy that I bought the car off. Now, the thing is, why would the car dealers want a monkey? I don't know. Let's find out if they do.
Well, if anyone can persuade the car dealer to buy his cuddly mate, it's Battersy's favourite wheeler dealer. Remember, the hairy chap only cost him £1.
What are you doing with a monkey?
Well, I bought the monkey, and as I was driving past, I thought, that's a good car dealers. Perhaps I might be able to sell you a monkey.
I don't really want a monkey, mate.
Only one owner from you, is that right?
How much are you hoping to get for it?
Well, perhaps 20 quid?
No, not for me, mate.
A tenner?
Oh, I'll do a tenner.
All right then, mate, you got a deal.
All right.
Right, I'll put him down there then, Roger, and he can answer the phone if he needs to. Lovely.
There you go, everybody and every monkey has their price, and Mark just banked a £9 profit from his. With Mark working his socks off in London to sell his boot sale bargains, Lady Lorne's headed to the south coast to sell her Stife toys to a dealer in Brighton.
Morning, Sue. I bought a few furry friends to see you. You know me, any excuse to come to Brighton, I'm here.
Unfortunately for Miss Spicer, Sue is only interested in 3 of the 5 teddies.
So these are the 3 that you're interested in. What sort of money would you be interested in paying?
I'm not really quite sure. What about 10 for the duck?
That's fine.
20 for him?
That would be amazingly fantastic. I'd be delighted.
And what about 10 for Little?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Because he hasn't got a button on.
No, I understand. He's just a cutie, isn't he?
And he'll just go on my shelf. Great.
Fantastic, OK.
Lovely, thank
So
you
I now
for
just got to find a house for a dog and a house for a penguin.
I'm sure you will.
Do you think if I go around Brighton with the penguin sticking out of my handbag, someone might approach me?
Somebody will say, stop.
Somebody will say there's a mad... Mind you, in Brighton, people won't bat an eyelid, will they? Oh, thanks a lot, Sue.
Nice to see you.
So, a duck, a teddy and a very cute seal sold, but she's only broken even on her Stife toys. With Mark pulling out all the stops in order to rinse as much profit as possible from his deer's head, Lorne needs to start making some profit and fast, so she's heading to one of her favourite auction houses to see 3 of her pieces go under the hammer, including the shooting stick she tried to sell earlier.
Now, this is the shooting stick, and I love this piece. I really hope it gets some recognition in the auction house today.
So I'm in £20 draw pass it, I'm at £20, 22, 22, then 25.
Oh, come on.
28. 25, you'll be now at 25, is that all at £25? So I got £25 large chance going at 25. By number 218, 25, number 5.
That's good, £25. That's the result as well. I love that shooting stick all the way around Oxford, no one was interested. And here it's sold. Hallelujah.
Don't forget, Lorne paid £2 for that shooting stick, and it's turned a fantastic £23 of profit. Remember, if you're going to an auction, always check out the commission prices. So she's on target now.
Come on.
And closing the gap on Mark. And when the heart-shaped ashtray...
£10, that's not a lot of money for that, really, is it? Mustn't be greedy, it all goes to charity.
And Lorne's mirror also find a new home.
Oh, one of the auction people is actually bidding on it. Now, I know this young man, and he's just bought himself a flat, so hopefully it'll go to a good home.
She's really starting to nip at Mark's heels. The pressure is building on Mr. Franks. He might have got off to a strong start, but now the gap with Lady Lorne is closing. He's not going to go down without a fight, though, and he's making one last push to beat his arch-rival.
Welcome to London, welcome to Hatton Garden, and welcome to Mark Franks beating Lorne Spicer. I've got a pocket full of gold, and I'm going to turn my gold into cash. Now, this shop here is my favourite place to sell me gold. Why? They pay the best prices. Come and watch. Morning, how are you?
Morning, Mark.
Not a lot of gold, just that.
Don't forget, Mark paid £50 for his car boot gold, so can he turn a quick profit?
Lovely. Cheers, I'll see you later.
See you soon.
Well, how about that then? Hatton Garden's paid off again. Money, 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 money. Take that, Spicer.
Yes, with a £30 profit under his belt, Mark has got the smell of victory in his nostrils, and he's off to one of his local auction houses now to see if the red top desk he picked up for £20 can help him seal that victory.
Well, Tom, shame this isn't my desk. It's a cracker, isn't it?
Yeah, this is a good campaign one, this one, Mark.
Yeah, it's lovely. How did the desk do? Any good?
We've got £80.
80 quid?
Yeah.
I never get let down by this place, do I? Where can I collect the cash?
If you just go down to the cashiers, Mark, no problem.
Cheers, Tom. See you later, mate.
Well, what about that? A great profit for Mark. He's cock-a-hoop. With our two experts due to meet tomorrow, time's closing in. And despite their best efforts, both Franksy and Lorne have each struggled to sell one or two items. Everything now rests on Mark's ability to do a last-minute deal. Mr. Franks is pulling out all the stops. But is this a make-or-break moment? It's never too late to be champ, or is it?
It's not that late, Tony. Come on, I'm on overtime. If only I was.
Yeah, no, well, it's all right, Mark. Yeah.
Well, was you watching the football?
I was just about to.
Oh, sorry about that. Right, OK.
Right.
Now, listen, I know you've got some fantastic bits of ceramics and studio pottery here, so I just thought you're the man for the job.
Well, yeah, it's Ruskin. I sell Ruskin, and yeah, it's a little bowl. It's no great big thing, but it's OK.
It's all right.
Yeah, it's probably during the later period, probably about 1920, I don't know, 24, 25.
Yeah.
Normally, they have a date on the bottom, but this one actually hasn't got a date on. It's just got Ruskin, England on there.
I just didn't know whether or not it would be of any use to you in the shop. You know, I do need to sell it.
Yeah, well, I'll be willing to buy it off you. Obviously, it all depends on the price.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to throw the ball straight back in your court. It wasn't cheap, so I want you to make me an offer, and then I can say yes or no.
£90.
£90.
£90 would give Mark a small profit, but he can't stop thinking about his rival. Has he got the trophy within reach?
I'll tell you what, how about, because I bought these at the same car boot sale, why don't we round it up to 100 quid for the pair?
Yeah, I'll take them. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to put them in my pagoda in the garden and make them as a decorative feature. £100, OK.
You're a gentleman, thanks, mate.
So, Mark's managed to squeeze a bit more money out of his deer's head and made a profit on the Ruskin bowl. But is it enough to beat Lorne?
I managed to get away my no idea deer. Sold the eye originally, and now I've sold the rest of the deer's head, which I had mounted, only for a tenner, but, oi, Spicer, I bet you're snoring as I'm selling.
Today's car boot challenge has been a real fight to the finish, but how much cash have our experts made? Don't forget, Mark and Lorne were each able to spend up to £250 of their own money. Mr. Franks dashed around the boot sales in Essex and splashed the cash and spent every last penny. Miss Spicer, on the other hand, was a little more selective and spent £240. Remember, all the profits from today's battle will be going to charity, so without further ado, it's time to find out who is today's Put Your Money Where Your Mouth Is champion.
Hello, Lorne. Boot sale king, how you doing?
My boot sale queen, how you doing?
Well, I've got boots on for once, so there you go. Something sensible. How'd you get on?
Well, boot sales are really great places to buy, aren't they? Always have been.
Well, yeah, I'm always surprised what you get at boot sales, like one idea.
Oh, one minute, my one idea did actually do well, and I think it was a very good idea, because I sold the eye. right? And then I stripped down the rest of it and had it mounted and sold just the antlers for a tenner. So it actually returned me a £10 profit.
And you're happy to do that to
Cost me a
Bambi's
fiver.
mum, are you?
So I tripled my money, effectively.
You know, I never got to the end of Bambi because I couldn't stop crying at what happened to her poor mother. But hey, if you
Never
can live
seen
with that, that's fair enough. Anyway, what did you make? Let's have a look.
Ready, go.
£207.50. What did I make? Oh, you beat me!
£5.50, me dear, beat
you. No, well done. But I have to say, I think that's brilliant. We've had £500-ish around that figure,
Yeah.
haven't we? So we've made money, and it just shows you boot sales are fantastic.
They are the place.
Actually, between you and me, there's one going on a bit over the corner. So
come on,
do you
let's
want to
go
come and
and,
look?
yeah.
Well, Mark was run closer than he could have imagined, and that's all thanks to a bit of creative fundraising from Spicemobile, as she picked up a generous donation of £100.
Oh, lovely to see you.
I'll tell you what, Lorne, I'll make you a donation for Little Havens.
No, really?
£100.
Yes, but bad luck, Lorne, because it makes no difference to the result of today's show, although it is great news for Lorne's good causes. So Mark takes the accolade. Today he's beaten Lorne in her own backyard. But how do our experts feel?
Not only did I have to travel all the way to Essex where Lorne lives to go to her car boot sale, but then I had to travel most of the country to sell it. It's quite hard finding the right buyers, but antiques or collectibles, it's all about logistics, just getting it to the right place. And I've done some mileage.
I tried to be a bit like the school head prefect, really. I bought sort of good name things that I thought would make quite a bit of money. So I'm very pleased, actually, with what I've found, and I'm very pleased with what I've made. But at the end of the day, Mark's made more money than me, so that's quite gutting, really.
Well, it's been a battle of epic proportions, but most importantly, both our brave warriors have made a profit, and those profits will be going to a good cause.
I'm over the moon I beat Lorne, but what I'm more pleased about is that I've raised that money for the Teenage Cancer Trust. Raising £207.50 towards that charity, it's not a bad thing, is it?
But I think it just goes to show that when a charity is involved, especially something like Little Havens Hospice, which is for children with a limited life expectancy, and Westley School Swimming Pool Fund, then people really do still have a great community spirit. And actually, you know what? That lifts my soul.
Remember, both our experts will be back tomorrow buying,
stick to your prices,
and selling.
He doesn't know any posh people to sell it to.
In the pressure cooker atmosphere of an auction.